Oh, I haven't done the females. I do apologise. So our champion female and reserve supreme was 4189 J.K. Jacks Orla of Glentrewin by the stallion Balmoral Lord out of Margaret of Meganeve, and bred by Mrs. Carol Rafferty. Second place in that class, the 4-year-old and over yelled mare, was J.J. Bonner and Miss Mirren Hayes, Beaumont Isle Lady, by Mosside Ian Moore, and bred by the owners. Third in that class, Mr. and Mrs. A. Munrose, Lowlandu True Blue by Strathmore Cameron. The 4-year-old and over mare with foal at foot, the broodmare class, that was won by the Allens with Maisie of Millfield by Glenvale Guardsman. Second was J. Allen's Bonnie Lass of Whitefield by Whitefield Prince Plattingham. And third was Mr. and Mrs. A. Munrose, Lowlandu Tinkerbell, a stallion there, Strathmore Cameron. The 4-year-old and over yelled mare class, that was won by number 4202, J.J. and A. Simpson's Scaraben Tricoy by Belviet Muldonough. And in second place, that was 4204. That was Dr. Wendy Taylor's Royal Amber of Sunny Nook by the stallion Loughlin's Military Filly class. That was won by number 4213, J.J. and A. Simpson's Chapel Hill Queen. They were the breeders also, and the stallion was Bray of Shankar. Second place, 4209, Karen Fotheringham's Ports of Mendick, bred by the late Mr. J. Dykes and Mrs. K. Dykes, and the stallion was Marksman of Mendick. And third place was A.J. MacArthur's Fern of Rogie by the stallion Murdoch Moore of Croyler-Croft. The winner of the 2-year-old filly class and the young stock champion was the Baird's Whitefield Princess Flute by the stallion Whitefield Prince Plattingham. Second in that class was Fiona Steele's Huntshaw Imogen. The sire was Mosside Ian Moore. And in third, the Kerr's Tower Angels Share by the stallion Strathmore Clover. The yearling filly class, that was won by our reserve young stock champion, 4226, Miss and Mrs. Kerr's Tower Evensong by the stallion Turin Hill Messiah. Second, again, belonging to the Kerrs, bred by the Kerrs, was Tower Gabrielle by the stallion Turin Hill Messiah. And in third, Andrew Baird's Whitefield Princess. The breeder, Mr. Sandy Baird, and the sire, Whitefield Prince Plattingham. Coming on now to our Shetland ponies, the standard Shetlands. Leading the whole of the parade was, of course, our best male overall champion and winner of the Sanderson Trophy, the Sleaze stallion Wells Dante. Second in the stallion class, that was Mr. Stephen Sinclair's Unigarth Victor by the stallion Bayview Valley. And third in that class, number 4234, was Mayland Vantage, belonging to Clare Mann and bred by Mr. and Mrs. Andrew Britland. And the sire there was Kenneth Victory. Any age gelding class, class 4 to 8, that was won by number 4237, that was Susan Dixon's Baldini Valiant, bred by Miss Amy McConville by Glenwappy Sunrise. And in second place, Amy McConville's Baldini Vanilla Sunrise, bred by the exhibitor, and the sire was Glenwappy Sunrise. Third place was 4376, C. Brown and Sons Kinnes Royal Trooper by the stallion West Park Top Star. The broodmare class, that was won with our reserve best female. That was Stephen Sinclair's Unigarth Valine, bred by the exhibitor by the stallion Unigarth Eric. And second place in the broodmare class went to the Transy studs Kafkin of Transy and by their stallion Beach of Transy. The foal class. The foal class was won by Mr. Stephen Sinclair's Unigarth Victoriana out of the winning mare Unigarth Valine. And second was this Transy Studs foal out of Catherine of Transy. Coming to the 4-year-old over and year-old and over mare, that was won by our best female and reserve champion overall, Milkhoy Shetland Pony Studs, Milkhoy J'adore. Stallion was Drum Premier. Second in that class was Mrs. L. Wilson's Cassie Dilly Jolene. Bred by the exhibitor, Mrs. Wilson, by the stallion Southfield Gate Valiant. And third in that class, in the 4-year-old over mare, was Ian Hallow Shetland Pony Studs, Ian Hallow Contessa, by Ian Hallow Shetland Pony Studs Sapphire Vision. 2 or 3-year-old filly class number 432, was won by John Watson's Abbott's Rule Snowdrop, by Arakmore Bravado, bred by John Watson, and this pony was also won the Best Junior Award. Second in that class was Ian Hallow Shetland Pony Studs, Ian Hallow Dutch Connie, bred by Brenda Lang, by Ian Hallow Dutch Prince. And third in that class was Thomas Stewart's Morburn Sapphire, by Wells Grenadier. The yearling colt and filly class, that was won by 4292, that was Amy McConville's Baldinic Venus, by the sire Wells Premier, and that pony also was reserve Best Junior. Second in that class, Tina and Annabelle Petherbridge's Renshaw Venetia, by Comeback Defender, and third was 1495 Milkboy Shetland Pony Studs, Milkboy Disaronno, by the stallion Sharptor Chesterfield. And now we're going to move on to the miniature Shetland ponies. The stallion class, 4 years old and over, was won by Hellstock Apollo, belonging to Linda Cochrane, by Kersel Warrior. He won his stallion class and then was overall, he was best male and then overall champion. It was his first show of the year, Hellstock Apollo, by the stallion Kersel Warrior. Second was Chesterwood Studs Milde Perazimo, by Torna Rubus. And third, that was the stallion Amanda Slater's Breckenley Guardsman, by the stallion Kerswell Starbuck. Class 436, the gelding, 4 years old and over, was won by Fiona Spittle's Rossbury Double Decker, bred by Mrs. Rebecca Mackey, by the stallion North Wales Rory. And second in that class was Laura Henry's North Harrier Kudos, bred by Miss P.J. Gear, by Zeal of Holland. And third was Miss Laura Ann Butters' Hellstock Viscount, bred by Mr. Hodge, by the stallion Kerswell Sage. Class 437, the broodmare with the foal at foot, that was won by number 4323, Mrs. Amanda Slater's Breckenley Samira. They got the Best Female Award and were also reserve champion overall. Breckenley Samira by the stallion Kerswell Starbuck, bred by Miss A. Slater, so bred by the exhibitor Amanda Slater. Second in the broodmare class, that was Claire Andrews' Blackator Morello, bred by David Hodge, by the stallion Hellstock Phenomenon. Coming to the foals, the winner of the foal class was Mr. and Mrs. Douglas and Charlotte Matheson's Dunedin Geneva, by the stallion Guardy Moonstep. Second place went to 4326 Doon Park Shetland Pony Studs, Doon Park Hallie Rose, bred by Susan Calvert, by the stallion Hellstock Mercury. And third was number 4325 Claire Andrews, Kinoctree Misty May, by the stallion South Sands Tuscan Sun, out of the mare Blackator Morella. And coming to the Yelled Mare class, in our miniature Shetlands, the Yelled Mare class, that was won by number 4339. The 4-year-old Alec Bray Shetlands, Alec Bray Roxy, the skewball pony, bred by Mr. and Mrs. McKay, by Alec Bray Cassius. Second in that class was 4342, Mrs. Adele Stewart's Narinian Lottie, bred by Dee MacArthur, by Jason Firth, the stallion. Third in that class, Linda Cochrane's Chase End, Lady in Red, bred by Mrs. S.E. Jones, by the stallion Athelney Lightning. And coming along now to a 2- and 3-year-old colt filly or gelding class, that was class 440. First in that class, and the best junior, was the 3-year-old Charlotte Mill Studs, Charlotte Mill Hallam, bred by Susan Cook, by Kurzweil Sprites. Second was Alec Bray Shetland's Alec Bray Elliot, just a 2-year-old, bred by Mr. and Mrs. McKay, by the stallion Alec Bray Aurora. And in third place was 4359, Deborah Stewart's Shallock Mill Whisper, another 2-year-old, a roan filly, bred by Mrs. S. Cook, by the stallion Kurzweil Sprite. And coming to our yearling colt filly and gelding class, the winner there was the Shallock Mill stud Shallock Mill Tutti Frutti, bred by Susan Cook, by the stallion Kurzweil Sprite. And second in that class was Philip Tyndale's Luton White Feather Bachelor, the Palomino pony, by the stallion Torna Flash Harry, the second. Third in that class was Shallock Mill stud Shallock Mill Razzle Dazzle, chestnut filly, bred by again by Susan Cook, by the stallion Talog Bobby Dazzler. So as our wonderful Shetland ponies, well, our Highland ponies and our Shetland ponies leave the ring, the standard Shetlands and the miniature Shetlands, what a wonderful display of Shetland ponies and indeed Highland ponies we had here at the Royal Highland Show, as one would expect at the Royal Highland Show. And I know all the people at this show, and certainly the people in the grandstand and by the grandstand, are very, very proud of their native breeds here. They're very proud of the wonderful Clydesdales and the Shetland ponies and the wonderful Highlands. Let's give them a huge round of applause, and indeed we should be very proud of these native breeds. And a huge thank you to all of you for breeding and producing these lovely ponies and showing them to us here in this lovely main arena at the Royal Highland Show. So from the great Clydesdales to the miniature Shetlands, who are just leaving on the way out of the arena now, what a great display of your native breeds, a great display. And we're now going to move on very shortly to some lovely music from the Art Fiddlers from Murray, and then we're going to move on to a very exciting show jumping competition. We're going to move on to the Grand Prix